So golf is a game that tells you that in life, don't force things. Harmful words cannot be taken back. Work on being more patient. Don't give your all to someone who only give you a little. Don't reveal your feelings to someone who hides theirs. There's a purpose for everyone you meet in life. Some people come into your life to test you, some to teach you, some to use you, and some to bring out the very best in you. But golf is a game that tells you that in life, sleeping is very hard if you cannot stop thinking. It's a game that tells you that in life, before you act, listen. Before you react, think. Before you spend, earn. Before you criticize, wait. Before you pray, forgive. Before you quit, try. Know your word. Stop giving people discount. Golf is a game that tells you about leadership. That leadership is the ability to get an extraordinary achievement from ordinary people. It tells you about step. Small step in the right direction can turn out to be the biggest step of your life. It's a game that tells you about view. That the best view come after the others climb. It tells you about journey. That life is a journey, not a destination. It's a game that tells you about yourself. In life, love yourself first, because this is who you spend the whole of your life with. It's a game that tells you about prevention. Two things prevent us from happiness: living in the past and observing others. It's a game that tells you about moment. Every given moment of your life, you have the power to say, this is not how my story will end. Golf is a game that tells you, about the best, that the best is yet to come. It tells you about message. Your life is your message. It's a game that tells you about surprise. Life is full of surprise. You don't know what will happen. So enjoy and be ready for the surprise. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. It's a game that tells you about sadness. In life, never let the sadness of your past and the fear of your future reign the happiness of your present. It's a game that tells you about photography. Life is like a photography before we use the negative to develop. It's a game that tells you about bicycle. That life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Golf is a game that tells you about greater things. There's no greater things you can do with your life and your work than to follow your passion in a way that serves you and serves the whole world. It's a game that tells you about maturity. That maturity is learning to walk away from people and situations that threaten your peace of mind. It's a game that tells you about rest. That in life, make the rest of your life the best of your life. It tells you about art. That in life, it tells you about focus. That in life, if you focus on the good will get better. It's a game that tells you about love. Love the life you live. Live the life you love. It tells you about art. Add life to your days, not days to your life. Golf is a game that tells you, it tells you about portion. The portion of your life that makes you sad, change you. It's a game that tells you about space. Make space in your life. for what matters. It's a game that tells you about love. Love the people who saw you when you were invisible to everyone else. Golf is a game that tells you about remembrance. Remember, when you forgive, you heal. When you let go, you grow. It tells you about judging people. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. It's a game that tells you about book. If there's a book that you want to read and it was not written, you must write it. It's a game that tells you about people. People do not notice the things you do until you stop doing them. Golf is a game that tells you about this. Change. Be the change you wish to see in the world. It tells you about this. In life, never regret a day in your life. Good days give you happiness, and bad days give you experience. Golf is a game that tells you about life. Life is a dream for the wise, a game for the fool, a comedy for the rich, a tragedy for the poor. It's a game that tells you about talent. Talent will get you in the door, but character will keep you in the room. It's a game that tells you about trust. That trust is like an eraser. It gets smaller and smaller after every mistake. It's a game that tells you about dream. Dream is not what you see in the sleep. It's that thing that does not let you sleep. It's a game that tells you about talk. Small mind talks about position. Average mind talks about growth. Great mind talks about winning. Champions never talk. They just perform, and the world talks. It tells you about jealous. In life, never hate people who are jealous of you. Instead, love them because they are the one who think you are better than them.
Yes, sir.
It's a game that tells you about ending. That in life, anything that has the beginning must have an end. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. It was good. It was beautiful. My goodness. That was so good.